It's cold.
It's not summer rugby, it's not that cold.
-2. Instant fan reaction following Saints 26-12 victory here at the John Smith Stadium in round 3 of the Super League, and I can't tell you, it's cold. -2. But that's the one to warm your heart, isn't it, Kevin?
Oh, absolutely. It was a red-hot performance from Saints.
That wasn't, was it?
It wasn't. It was bang average. Far too many errors.
Well, do you know what? I think you're being a bit harsh there. I think I said it. I thought during the week it'd be a little bit bitty like it was against Catalan, and it proved to be that. And there was no 8 out of 10s, 9 out of 10s, but there was a lot of 7s across the board, and that's going to be enough to win you a lot of games in Super League.
So bang average then. That's
slightly above.
No, that's exactly. If you look at scores across a paper, across whatever, you'll see 6s and 7s out of 10. You're not going to see much out of that. Tyre, Thompson might have edged above it. Far too many errors. I don't want to come on here and be completely dismissive of that performance, because that is a game we'd have lost last year.
Yeah,
absolutely, a game we'd have lost last year, and I'm made up with it. But
2 wins here out of 2 wins since 2011, I think it is. And do you know what? We've come on here and we've just met up after the game. We haven't discussed it. I think you've been really harsh.
I think it's bang average. I thought it was a bang average performance against a half decent Huddersfield team, and we've
I don't think
we've had moments.
Yeah, I don't think the Giants offered a lot, but for me it was a tight one till half time, and then a 10-minute spell in the second half where we got them tries on the board, and then for the last 20 it was, I'd say, game management, and I thought we coasted along the last 20 minutes.
I don't even think it was a 20-minute spell. I think it was a 3-minute spell when we scored. They got one back inside that 10 minutes. I think we brought on far too much pressure in the first half. How many errors did we make, and how much did they have?
But see, I think that's a positive from that.
Oh no!
In that first half, I think we had 6 sets on our own line, one after the other, and we didn't concede from it. And at the end of the day,
for granted, that's a positive. But making that many errors, how can you say making that many errors is a positive? Making some pass that led to the try when he's just thrown it blindly out the back. Tell me that's a positive.
There are errors, and there's errors, but in those temperatures, away from home at this time of year, at the end of the day, we conceded 12 points tonight. 12 points against Catalan, 6 against Castleford. On average, over the first 3 games of the season, we've conceded 10 points.
Well,
if you go the course of the season conceding 10 points a game, you're going to be in the top 2 positions in the table.
Yeah. To be fair, we've just walked out and said it's not about performance; it's about getting the win. But if I'm going to come on here and critique what I've just seen, it wasn't a great performance.
No, it wasn't.
It was a bang average performance. You're asking for an instant reaction. I thought it was bang average.
We're in a fight, aren't we?
No, we're not. This is Morgan Knowles' 4-game ban all over again. They agreed to disagree on it.
Yeah, I said you were right in the end. But no, for me, there was a lot of 7s across the board. I thought, and I don't think 7's bang average. I think it's slightly above. I thought we did enough. You could see the last 5 or 6 minutes. There was Adam Swift and Ben Barber looked at a touch of cramp. They weren't great conditions to be playing in tonight.
No, they weren't. I mean, but it's what you expect. I mean, we're in Britain. We're playing in February.
Do you know what?
Still winter.
Do you know what? I was saying during the week there was a talk about cutting the league down to 10 teams. Do you know what? Go down to 10 teams, play 22 games, and start the season 2 months later.
Stop that. Go down to 10 teams and play it in Cyprus or something like that where it's warm.
I'm all for that, yeah. Positives from tonight then, what did you take from it?
Defence was great, especially, as I say, they had 6 sets, was it, on our line. A couple of goal line dropouts, a couple of mistakes from Saints.
I think defensively what I see is, in previous seasons, we never wrapped the ball up, and teams always got that second phase play. We don't seem to get that much now,
there's only
one
or two.
Yeah.
So defensively, great. Luke Thompson again on the front foot. As soon as he came on, he lifted us. Zeb Tyre, I thought, had a great game, and I was intrigued about how Danny Richardson would go against Danny Brough, just because Danny Brough is one of them players who may be a lovely lad off the pitch, but on the pitch, but on the pitch, he's one of them little grubby. We'll chat at you, we'll have a go, we'll throw the ball down in disgust. Literally, just absolutely hammer you. And I think Danny Richardson comes out of that game with a lot of credit.
Yeah, he stood up and was counted.
Yeah.
Do you know what I liked about us? There seemed to be a little bit of grub in us.
Yeah, I think we need that. I think we've missed that
We have
since
it.
Jason Hooper's gone.
Yeah, all last season I think we banged on about it. We have players not being dirty, but making the presence felt. I think from the opening kick-off, we put an absolute booming hit in.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of grub, and lets teams know you're there, and you're not going to be bullied.
Yeah, and that's it. And Huddersfield are probably buoyed by, I can't even pronounce the number 8's name, Sebastian. That's the lad. And Oliver Roberts, who's signed on, and they're good signings for them because they're big. I wouldn't mind one or two of them in our pack, to be honest. So they've got a decent pack, but ours going toe to toe, like they didn't do last year when one of our props got the shepherd's crook after 15 minutes and you didn't see him again. I think our pack has actually stood up to him, which to be fair, again in these conditions, fair enough.
So cold.
Oh, this wind! Who's turned that wind on?
Salford at home next week. It looks like they've won big tonight at home against Hull KR. Do you rotate or do you just go with what you go with your best 17? I think that's what you hear on the grapevine is probably what we're likely to do. Do you just keep grinding at this time of year, put the points in the bank, and then when you get yourself a potential bit of a gap and a bit of a cushion at the top table, that's when you look to rotate maybe?
The question is, do you bother to rotate and put someone in the 19 who's not going to play?
Yeah.
So do you bring Bentley in, or is he better off being served going to Sheffield again, playing at Sheffield? Or do you bring him in and think, actually, we can give him 40 minutes over the game today, or 35 minutes or whatever, and he can rotate at loose or at second row or with Dom Peru or somebody like that. Dom Peru's made a couple of handling errors. I think the way that Justin Holbrook goes about his team, Dom Peru might be under pressure in training this week. Same as probably Regan Grace might be. All right, his errors have gone backwards. But if the ball's going up in the air and you're dropping the ball, you've got to turn around and go, well, who isn't doing that in training?
Yeah,
it's a very fine line.
I think I said during the game, teams look like they're going to start targeting Regan Grace with the high ball.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. To be honest, if I was an opposition coach, I'd be saying, just stick it up to that wing every single time. I wouldn't be aiming at Swift.
Can I just say, do you know what? Adam Swift, I thought was impressive again this evening. I thought he had a decent game.
I think Swifty is being dropped from the first team.
He's taking it personally, and he wants his place back.
I think he's taking it professionally. I think he's taking it professionally.
He's taken it personally, and he's come back and he's responded really well.
Yeah.
It would have been very, very easy for him to sulk.
Absolutely,
and he hasn't.
Listen, I don't think we're not the type of people who want people dropped or gone out of the team or anything like that. But seeing he got dropped, and Furley got dropped.
Yeah, and I think we said last season he didn't deserve to be in the side. No, but he's gone away, and it looks like he's worked on his game, and he's come back a better player for it.
Which then begs the question for next week: if Ryan Morgan's free, do you bring Morgan back in and put Makinson back on the right wing?
And then in your mind, if you had to make a choice, who deserves to be? You've got 3 wingers and 2 spots. You've got Regan Grace, Tommy Makinson, Adam Swift. Who are your 2 wingers?
Makinson and Swift.
There you go. Can we film the rest of this on the walk to the car because it's so cold?
Yeah, of course we can.
It is very, very cold.
To be honest, I'd send Grace over to Sheffield and let him play against some semi-pro. Yeah, exactly.
Horrible meatheads
who don't care who he is.
Yeah,
and we'll get amongst them, and he will learn probably so much more from that. I love this beam across my face, by the way.
Makes it look beautiful.
Beam me up, Kevin. But he will learn probably more from that than he has done tonight.
Do you know the best positive about being on this car park behind the away stand, right? Is the fact that we're not going to be able to move for 15 minutes, and we're going to be able to upload this to YouTube and get our hands warm on the heater.
I've got massive gloves on, I'm alright.
I'm cold.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
do you know
sorry, as well. Poor David had to hand over the tweeting tonight because he was cold. One of us has turned up in a coat, one of us hasn't. Bless him.
One of us has got more padding.
Alright, I'm fatter.
We're still 2 fat lads.
You don't see a cold whale, do
no.
you?
At the end of the day, we're still 2 fat lads
We've not even got the tripod.
We haven't even got a tripod, but 2 fat lads with a selfie stick. And you know what? It is very, very cold. We're all very, very happy at coming away with the 2 points. 3 wins from 3. Let's make it 4 next week.
I've got to say, with this light, I look like a fat thief from Home Alone.
Right. My hands feel like a digital watches.
No, with my line.
I must use that on here.
Yeah, I know you did.
Right. We will catch you during the week in a much warmer environment for the Red V review preview show of next week. See you later, YouTubers.